Hey guys, welcome back. It's Joseph. Quick and simple gospel. Yeshua, Jesus, came to this earth, lived a perfect 33 years, was crucified on a cross for our sins, buried in a tomb for 3 days, and rose from the grave on the third day. We are saved through faith in Christ alone and by no other name. Amen. So good morning, guys. Hope you're all doing well today. This is part 2. Ozzy Osbourne dead at 76. We covered this yesterday, but I got some new information I want to share with you. So we'll give it a few minutes. We'll wait for a few people to jump in, and then we'll go ahead and get started. Hope you guys are having a great day. Let me see how we're looking on the screen here. And this should be shorter than yesterday. I'm not going to cover everything from yesterday, just the key points. And there's still a lot of key points. But yeah, should be a good show. These numbers are undeniable, as you're going to see. All right, we're looking good. Much love to Tim, Michael, Mr. J, Elena, much love. Guys, do me a favor. When you come in, please hit the like button. Very much appreciated. Helps out the algorithm and helps more people find the video. And also, please hit the share button. That way we can get this out to more people. Hey, Travis. Hey, lowly man for Christ. Much love. All right, guys, we got a lot to talk about. Let's go ahead and get started. Thank you, lowly man for Christ. Jesus loves you too, brother. And everybody in the chat. Jesus loves you and he's coming soon. So get ready. All right, guys, give me a second to get all set up, and then we will get started. And we're going to start with the same number we started with yesterday, but I have some new information for you. And I'll be honest, a lot of this new information isn't from me. Only a couple things are for me. The rest of it is stuff I saw on other channels, and I'm going to give them all credit when we get to the slides. But yeah, some great members of the community found some great stuff. All right, guys. We're going to break this down all by the numbers using gematria, which is simply letters as numerals. And once you learn the simple code of coding letters into numbers, you can see right through the scripted coded news every day. Hey, Claudia. Okay, guys, so the first number we're going to talk about is the number 201, all right? Very big number to the Jesuit order. All right, so the first thing I want to point out, Ozzy Osbourne equals 201, okay? The Jesuit order equals 201. The founder of the Jesuit order is Ignatius of Loyola, which equals 201. And we're going to talk a lot about him today. So Ozzy Osbourne, 201. Ignatius of Loyola, 201. That's the founder of the Jesuit order 201. Now remember, we just had the death of the first Jesuit pope, Pope Francis. His full name, Jorge Mario Bergoglio, equaled 201. Remember, he lived in suite number, hopefully you can read this, he lived in suite number 201 at the Domus Sanctae Martyr, which equals 201. Here, just in case, tell you what, I have this in like a collage, so I want you guys to be able to read this well. So let me go ahead and just pull up the slideshow. It's only take a second. Here we go. Hopefully this is a little better for you. Okay, so we just had the death of the first Jesuit Pope, Pope Francis. His full name, Jorge Mario Bergoglio, 201. Now I can zoom in better. See where it says he lived in Suite 201? What are the odds of that, right? Pope Francis lived in Suite 201. His real name is Jorge Mario Bergoglio, 201. He lived at the Domus Sanctae Martae, which equals 201. Can you believe that? He lived in Suite, see down here? He lived in Suite 201 at the Domus Sanctae Martae, which equals 201. Wow. And again, Ignatius of Loyola, 201. That's the founder of the Jesuit order. The Jesuit order, 201. Catholic Pope, 201. Now remember, the Georgia Guidestones went down 201 days from the Pope's birthday. And we're going to talk about the Guidestones later. But just remember that. The Guidestones went down 201 days from the Pope's birthday, and then Pope Francis just died 201 days from the death anniversary of St. Francis of Assisi, who he got his name from. All right? And before I move on, don't forget the other big death we just had in the news connected to the 201. Malcolm Jamal Warner from The Cosby Show. He died on the 201st day of the year. There were 201 original episodes of The Cosby Show. And he's from Jersey City, New Jersey, where they have the 201 area code. So we just talked about this number in a big way right before Ozzy. But anyways, we have all those 201s, right? Ozzy Osbourne, 201. Okay, this is where it gets even more crazy. So I mentioned this part yesterday, right here. Ozzy Osbourne tests positive for COVID-19, but says he's okay, Sharon says. So it was Sharon Osbourne who announced on April 28th, 2022, that he had tested positive. Okay? Sharon's birthday is October 9th. So she made this announcement 201 days. 201 days from her birthday. Okay? Now remember, they said COVID started with a bat, right? And Ozzy bit the head off a bat on January 20th. The 20th day of the first month, like 201. I think I have it up here somewhere. Hold on. Here you go. Ozzy bit the head off a bat during a concert on January 20th. That date can be written 20/1, right? The 20th day of the first month. Now, this right here is crazy. So again, remember, Ozzy bit the head off a bat the 20th day of the first month, 201. The bat connected to COVID. And then Sharon announced that Ozzy had COVID on April 28th, 201 days from her birthday, right? Now here is one of the main reasons I'm going live today. I can't zoom in much more, but hopefully you can read this. All right? Shout out to KJ Malone, who left this comment on Decoding with Cody's Live. This was in the comments. I couldn't believe it. Ozzy was born December 3rd, 1948. Sharon Osbourne was born October 9th, 1952. Guys, their birthdays are exactly 201 weeks and 0 days apart. Can you believe that on top of what I said yesterday? I wish I would have had that yesterday. But of course, it's, impossible to catch everything. But I made the point yesterday that Sharon announced that Ozzy had tested positive 201 days from her birthday. And he bit the head off a bat on 21. Imagine if I would have had this, which I'm glad I do now. Look at that, guys. Sharon and Ozzy are born exactly 201 weeks and 0 days apart, guys. Exactly 201 weeks. Ozzy Osbourne, 201. Can you believe that? Wow. Thank you to KJ Malone. And that deserves a like and a share right there. Okay, now let me look up something else real quick. I just want to show you one thing about the newest pandemic simulation called Preparing for Disease X. Long story short, it was held exactly 201 weeks after COVID was declared a pandemic. And obviously, don't forget about Event 201, the pandemic simulation, guys. William Henry Gates, 201. Hopefully I can find this here. There it is. Thank you, Jesus. I should have had this ready to go, but... Okay, guys. What was the name of the pandemic simulation? I mean, there were a couple of them, but one of the main ones, Event 201, guys. Remember Event 201? William Henry Gates, 201? Look at this, guys. There was another simulation called Preparing for Disease X. That was held January 17th, 2024. It was exactly 201 weeks after COVID was declared a pandemic. What are the odds of that? You have Event 201, and then you have another pandemic simulation 201 weeks after COVID declared a pandemic. And this stuff is impossible. And don't forget, it was also 201 days from Obama's birthday, who I believe is the Antichrist. King of Babylon, Barack Obama, 201. The son of perdition, Barack Hussein Obama, 201. Don't forget, Event 201 was held on 10/18. Like Luke 10:18, I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven. Barack means lightning, bomb of the heights. And then don't forget, COVID was declared a pandemic exactly 666 days after the Clade X pandemic simulation. But anyways, we're still on the number 201. I mean, how crazy? Right? And I'm going to make more connections to Pope Francis in a second here, but Ozzy Osbourne, 201, bit the head off a bat on 20/1. COVID started with a bat. Sharon announces he tested positive 201 days from her birthday, and they were born exactly 201 weeks apart, and then they had a pandemic simulation called Event 201, and then they had another simulation called Preparing for Disease X, exactly 201 weeks after COVID declared a pandemic, and William Henry Gates, 201. Pretty crazy stuff, man. All right, let's get moving here. So we just talked about Pope Francis, Jorge Mario Bergoglio, 201, who lived in Suite 201 at the Domus Sancti Marte, 201, Catholic Pope, 201. The Guidestones down 201 days from the Pope's birthday, and he died 201 days from the death anniversary of St. Francis of Assisi, who he got his name from. All right, so Ozzy with the big 20, Ozzy Osbourne with the big 201, right? So how many days did Ozzy die after the Pope died? He died, not including the end date, he died 92 days after the Pope. And Ozzy equals 92. And he also did his last show in Birmingham, England, which equals 92. All right, but what are the odds? Ozzy equals 92, dead 92 days after the Pope. Now, including the end date, he died 93 days after the Pope died. Prince of Darkness, 93. And back to Ignatius of Loyola, the founder of the Jesuits. Remember, Ignatius of Loyola had that 201, like Ozzy Osbourne. Not including the end date, he died 93 days before Ignatius of Loyola's birthday, the founder of the Jesuits. And again, Prince of Darkness, 93. And we're going to talk more about the 93 later when we get into Aleister Crowley. Now, another connection to Ignatius of Loyola, the founder of the Jesuits. In reverse, Ignatius of Loyola equals 231. Ozzy died 231 days after his birthday. Ignatius of Loyola, 231, the founder of the Jesuits, right? And Singer is also 231. Now, I have to mention this, and hopefully you can follow me here. We talked about this yesterday. So 231, right? The Georgia Guidestones went down on 7/6. Like Ozzy died at 76, right? Skull and Bones equals 76. We're going to get to the Skull and Bones connection in a second. But anyways, we're talking about the 231. Those Georgia Guidestones were 231 inches tall. All right? They also opened 231 days after Obama's birthday. The first rule of the Guidestones equals 231. Maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. 231. Then they had another simulation called catastrophic contagion, which equals 231. It was held 231 weeks after Clade X. And remember, COVID was declared a pandemic 666 days after the Clade X pandemic simulation. Well, catastrophic contagion equals 231. And look when it was held. It was held on October 23rd. What's October 23rd? That's the birthday of Ignatius of Loyola. And what does Ignatius of Loyola equal? 231. And then another bonus here. Don't forget, when the WHO declared monkeypox outbreak a global health emergency, exactly 231 weeks after COVID was declared a pandemic and monkeypox outbreak is 231. So we're going to get to the other connection with the actually, we'll do it right now. So back to the Guidestones, which were 231 inches tall that we just talked about. You see how Arturo Sosa is the leader of the Jesuits. His birthday, November 12th. Ozzy died 3 months and 22 days from his birthday. John Michael Ozzy Osbourne, 322. So when did the Georgia Guidestones open? They opened on 322, the number of skull and bones. And when did the Georgia Guidestones go down? On July 6, 76. And how old was Ozzy when he died? 76, right? See how skull and bones equals 76? And the Guidestones are built under the alias RC Christian, which equals 76. Remember George W. Bush, member of Skull and Bones, turned 76 years old the day the Guidestones went down. And then I just talked about how the Guidestones were connected to Obama. Barack Obama, 76, A Promised Land, 76. Obama's movie, Leave the World Behind, you got the 76s all over his movie. You got to take exit 76 to get to the house in that movie, and then the movie starts out with the 76 on the coffee cup. But anyways, we just talked about how the Guidestones were connected to Obama. They were 231 inches tall. They opened 231 days after Obama's birthday. And there's even more I could say connected to Obama. Remember, the Guidestones were in Elberton, Georgia. Elberton 44, Georgia 44, Obama number 44. They were 19 feet, 3 inches tall. That's the 44th prime number. And the Guidestones opened 19 weeks and 3 days from Obama's birthday, 193, the 44th prime. They were in Elbert County, Georgia, which is 222, like the Antichrist Barack Obama 222. The guy who tested positive for COVID 222 days from his birthday. They called it Wuhan coronavirus 222, declared a national emergency 222 days from Obama's birthday, and declared a pandemic 222 months from 9/11. And the first U.S. case was 222 days from Trump's birthday, and Trump equals 222, and Trump won the election 222 days from his birthday, and the list goes on. But anyways, this is the first of the 322 connections. And you know what? I didn't plan to do it this way, but this makes the most sense. I'm going to get to the things on the bottom. But since we're making the 322 connection, let's go ahead and do this. Here's some other information I did not have in the live stream yesterday. The Prince of Darkness box set by Ozzy Osbourne was released on 3/22, March 22nd. How about that? And I also didn't have this part. Crazy Train is the debut solo single by English heavy metal singer Ozzy, recorded when? March 22nd, 3/22. Now, I did talk about this yesterday. The studio recording of Mr. Crowley was recorded on March 22nd, also 3/22. John Michael Ozzy Osbourne, 3/22. Now remember, including the end date, I talked about this yesterday, Ozzy died 123 days after 3/22. Ozzy Osbourne equals 123. Drop the mic on that. And when was Ozzy born? 12/3, 123. Remember, he was also in the Osbournes. The first episode of the Osbournes was March 5th. Ozzy died 32 weeks and 2 days from the anniversary of the first episode of the Osbournes, another 3/22. And then Ozzy dead at 76. Skull and Bones equals 76. The number of Skull and Bones is 3/22. And then also, they said he was surrounded by love. 76. Heavy metal singer, 76. Ozzy Osbourne death, 76. Now, shout out to Derek from Gematria85 on a couple of these here. He pointed this out, that he died, including the end date, he died 7 weeks and 6 days before the new Pope's birthday. And I pointed this out yesterday, that he died 76 days after the new Pope became the Pope. And Derek also found this one. Pope Francis' birthday, December 17th. So Ozzy died 7 months and 6 days from Pope Francis' birthday. All right. So we got all those 76s. And remember, like I showed you, so we got the 3/22 and the 76. That's why I keep bringing up the Georgia Guidestones, because the Guidestones opened on 3/22. They went down on 7/6, because Skull and Bones equals 76. Okay, now let's go back to the Jesuit slide. You know, I was going to do a recap today, but man, this is taking way longer than I thought. I don't know. I'll try to get to it. We'll see. Now, also, credit to Derek from Gematria85 on this slide. I didn't have this yesterday either. He pointed out that Ozzy died 1 month and 23 days before the new Pope's birthday, 123. Ozzy Osbourne, 123. This is also information from Derek that I shared yesterday, that he died 299 days from the anniversary of the Jesuits being founded, and he was born 299 days before the anniversary of the Jesuits. John Michael Ozzy Osbourne, 299. And then Prince of Darkness is 177, like the Jesuit order, 177. And I think I got a few more things here to show you with the Jesuit connection. Yeah, we'll see about a recap. I don't know. I guess I could. So he was known for having Parkinson's, right? He died, not including the end date, he died 134 days before his birthday. Parkinson's, 134. The Jesuits, 134. And then another addition from Gematria85 Derek. So big shout out to him. A lot of this information is from him. A lot of this new stuff. And some of the stuff from yesterday. Long story short, see when the Jesuits were founded? September 27th. Ozzy died 67 days before the anniversary of the Jesuits, and Ozzy was born 67 days after the anniversary of the Jesuits. Why does that matter? Because blood sacrifice and human sacrifice, they're both 67. Okay. I think that's it on the Jesuit connection. And we already covered the 322 connection here. Let's go ahead and go to the Crowley connection. So, you know, Ozzy had a famous song called Mr. Crowley, right? All about Aleister Crowley. So first part I want to talk about here, credit to Franchot Pearson on this find. Make sure you check him out, Franchot Blue. You know, Mr. Crowley, or Aleister Crowley, he's known for 777 and other Kabbalistic writings of Aleister Crowley, right? Well, Ozzy had a song called Mr. Crowley. Ozzy died 77 years and 7 months after Aleister Crowley died. 777. When Crowley is known for the 777. How about that? And let me go ahead and show you order out of chaos equals 777 also. For the record, order out of chaos 777. And then Ozzy, you know, he was with Black Sabbath, right? Ozzy died 82 days before the birthday of Aleister Crowley. Black Sabbath equals 82. He died 82 days from Aleister Crowley's birthday, Black Sabbath 82. Mr. Crowley, the name of the song, equals 666. How about that? Ozzy died on 7/22, right? Ozzy died 7 months and 22 days after Aleister Crowley's death date. Wow. Ozzy Osbourne and Black Sabbath's connection to Aleister Crowley is primarily through the song Mr. Crowley, which was inspired by Crowley's life and writings. In Thelema, the number 93 is closely linked to Aleister Crowley through the practice of gematria, a system of assigning numerical values to letters. Aleister Crowley, a prominent figure in occultism, associated Saturn with various concepts within his system of Thelema and magical practices. And again, in Thelema, he got the number 93, right? So Saturn 93, Prince of Darkness 93. And then connected to Saturn, Cody had mentioned in his live stream, Ozzy Osbourne. You got the 00, kind of like 2 rings, like Saturn allegedly has rings, right? And then remember the other 93s, including the end date. He died 93 days after the Pope died, and he died 93 days before Ignatius of Loyola's birthday, the founder of the Jesuit order, Prince of Darkness 93. And then, here, I guess I'll go ahead and open up a new tab here. Don't forget War Pigs is also 93. We talked about that yesterday. Ozzy's other famous song, War Pigs, right? And then here, for the record, his other famous song, Iron Man, equals Jesuit. And we're going to talk about Crazy Train in a second. There you go. Iron Man 8442, like Jesuit. But anyways, yeah, back to the 93. Right, let's go back to Crowley with the 93. Thelema 93, Saturn. That whole connection, right? Okay, now the other big connection with Crowley, look at this, guys. The name of the song is Mr. Crowley, which equals 132, right? What if I told you Ozzy died 132 days before Aleister Crowley's death date? When Mr. Crowley is 132, and that's the song connecting them. Are you kidding me? How about that? 132 days before Crowley's death date, Mr. Crowley 132, like England 132. And then down here, look at this. Remember, Mr. Crowley was recorded starting on March 22nd, the 322, including the end date. Ozzy died 123 days from the anniversary of recording Mr. Crowley. Ozzy Osbourne equals 123. And he was born on 12/3/123. And another big find by Gematronnator85 Derek right here. Look at this. Ozzy was born December 3rd, right here, December 3rd, 1948. Crowley died December 1st, 47. Ozzy Osbourne was born 12 months and 3 days after Crowley died. 123, guys. Ozzy Osbourne, 123. How crazy, man. You guys see why I had to make a part 2? This stuff is off the chain. All right, so we got the 322, we got the Crowley, we got the Jesuits, and I think this is my last slide here. These are just other random facts. All right. So I pointed this out yesterday, including the end date. Ozzy died 232 days after his birthday. Ozzy equals 232. How about that? Satan equals 232. And I have a new edition here from Decoding with Cody. I think he said somebody else found this, but I heard it from Cody. So we're talking about Satan, right? Ozzy dead 232 days from his birthday. Ozzy 232, Satan 232, right? When was the Church of Satan founded? April 30th. Ozzy died 2 months, 3 weeks, and 2 days from the anniversary of the Church of Satan. 232, guys. Satan, 232. Ozzy, 232, dead 232 days after his birthday. Drop the mic. Now, Ozzy died on 22/7, right? The 22nd day of the 7th month. He bit the head off a bat, allegedly, January 20th, 1982. He died 2,270 weeks after biting the head off a bat. 227, guys. Like he died on 227. Ozzy Osbourne Black Sabbath equals 2207. And I got this on Facebook from Christopher Columbus, so thank you for that. And this actually came from somebody in Cody's live stream. So I always got to give credit where I get my information. But yeah, somebody dropped this in Cody's live stream, and this was on Facebook. So you got the double 22/7 there. All right, a few more things here. The Osbournes ended on March 21st. So he died 242 days from the anniversary of the show ending. Black Sabbath, 242. And then the final episode, March 21st, he died 123 days after the anniversary of the show ending. Ozzy Osbourne, 123. He's also known for Crazy Train, right? Including the end date, he died 135 days before his birthday. Crazy Train equals 135 forwards and backwards. And then he died exactly 33 weeks after his birthday. England 33, Rockstar 33, Masonry 33. And he also died, and I figured we would have a death in the news because the 7438 date numerology. Had no idea it would be Ozzy. But anyways, he died on a day with 74 and 38 date numerology. Killing is 74 and 38. And if you're wondering how do we get those numbers, 7 plus 22 plus 20 plus 25, 74, like killing 74. And then 7 plus 22 plus 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 5, 38, killing 38. Don't forget death 38, murder is also 38. And for the record, see how he died on the 7438 date numerology? Let me go ahead and show you the other thing I should have mentioned yesterday. It's here somewhere. Here it is. Not only is killing 74 and 38, but Lucifer is also 74 and 38. How about that, guys? And for the record, here, I'll go ahead and skip ahead here. I just want to show you the gematria on frontman. We'll get there eventually. Don't forget, he also died 17 days after his last show. Kill 17, Mason 17, Birmingham equals Freemasonry and multiple ciphers, Ozzy equals Masonic. Yeah, don't forget he's passing the torch to Youngblood. Youngblood equals murder in 2 ciphers. He's 27 years old right now. Ritual 27. Dead 14 days from Youngblood's birthday. Dead 14. There's Youngblood with the one eye symbolism. Here you go. See the overlap with, he's the front man. Front man equals Lucifer and killing also in 3 ciphers. But anyways, guys, let me get back to where we were. All right, here's all the new information. And I guess I'll go ahead and do a quick recap for anyone who came in late. But for anyone who wants to dip out early, let me just show you this real quick. Here it is. If anybody wants to help out the channel, very much appreciated. This is my full-time job. I'm not monetized by YouTube, so any support, very much appreciated. And thank you so much to everyone who does support. You guys are awesome. All right, guys, you ready for a quick recap, which probably won't be very quick, but I'll try my best. And I'm sure there's even going to be more that I missed, but if there's anything else I missed, I'm not going to do another recap. I am ready to move on from Ozzy after today, but maybe I'll do a short video, because who knows, there could still be more information to come out. All right, let me take a sip of water. Actually, let me pull up the chat here. Does anybody have anything in the chat that I missed? I'm not going to scroll all the way up, so if you guys had something to add, go ahead and leave it in the comments and let me know. All right, guys, here we go. You ready? Ozzy Osbourne, dead at 76. Ozzy Osbourne, 201. Ignatius of Loyola, 201. That's the founder of the Jesuit order, 201. Now let me pull this slide up so you can read it better. We just had the first Jesuit Pope die. Pope Francis, Jorge Mario Bergoglio, his full name, 201. He lived in Suite 201 at the Domus Sancte Marte, which equals 201. Ignatius of Loyola, 201, the founder of the Jesuit order. Catholic Pope, 201. The Jesuit order, 201. The Georgia Guidestones went down 201 days from the Pope's birthday. And Pope Francis just died 201 days from the death anniversary of St. Francis of Assisi, who he got his name from. And then remember, we just had the death in the news of Malcolm Jamal Warner, who died on the 201st day of the year when there were 201 original episodes of The Cosby Show, and he's from Jersey City, New Jersey, where they have the 201 area code, right? So Ozzy Osbourne equals 201, right? Well, you remember when Ozzy tested positive for COVID? That was in the news April 28th. We got that news. It was announced by Sharon Osbourne, and she made that announcement April 28th. That was 201 days from her birthday. Like Event 201, the pandemic simulation. And remember, Ozzy bit the head off a bat on 20/1, the 20th day of the first month. And remember, COVID started with a bat, allegedly. And shout out to KJ Malone. Huge find here. I mean, doesn't this prove everything I was talking about yesterday right here? Shout out to KJ Malone. He found this. Ozzy Osbourne and Sharon Osbourne, they were born exactly 201 weeks and 0 days apart. That blew my mind. It's still blowing my mind. I can't even believe it, man. Can you believe that, guys? Absolutely unreal. Now remember, they had Event 201, the pandemic simulation. Remember, William Henry Gates 201. They had another simulation called Preparing for Disease X, which was exactly 201 weeks and 0 days after COVID was declared a pandemic. And don't forget, it was also 201 days from Obama's birthday. King of Babylon, Barack Obama, 201. The son of perdition, Barack Hussein Obama, 201. Don't forget that old serpent, also 201, another name for the devil. And remember, Event 201 was held on 10/18, like Luke 10/18. I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven. Barack means lightning, bomb of the heights. So that's a lot of 201s, right? That's pretty crazy stuff. So Jorge Mario Bergoglio, 201. Pope Francis, like Ozzy Osbourne, 201. Ozzy died 92 days after the Pope died. Ozzy, 92. Birmingham, England, 92, where he did his last show. And including the end date, he died 93 days after the Pope died. Prince of Darkness, 93, and he died 93 days before Ignatius of Loyola's birthday, the founder of the Jesuit order. Prince of Darkness, 93. Ozzy died 231 days after his birthday. Ignatius of Loyola, 231, Singer, 231. And again, Ignatius of Loyola, the founder of the Jesuits, also had that 201 like Ozzy Osbourne. But anyways, let's talk about the 231. Here we go again. Ignatius of Loyola, 231. Ozzy dead 231 days after his birthday. So let's go back to the Georgia Guidestones. And this is the part that takes a while, but I have to mention it. Those Georgia Guidestones were 231 inches tall. Remember, they went down 201 days from the Pope's birthday. Like Ignatius of Loyola, also 201. Did I say that correctly? I'm talking so fast now. Don't forget, the Georgia Guidestones went down 201 days from the Pope's birthday. Jorge Mario Bergoglio, 201, lived in Suite 201. Ozzy Osbourne, 201. Ignatius of Loyola has the 201. Okay, so the Guidestones were 231 inches tall. That 231 number, right? And the Guidestones opened 231 days after Obama's birthday. And the first rule of the Guidestones equals 231. Maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. That's 231. They had another simulation called catastrophic contagion, which equals 231. That was held 231 weeks after Clade X. And remember, COVID was declared a pandemic 666 days after the Clade X simulation. And look when catastrophic contagion was held, October 23rd. What's October 23rd? That's Ignatius of Loyola's birthday, right? And remember, Ignatius of Loyola, 231. Ozzy died 231 days after his birthday. All right, so those Guidestones, 231 inches tall, and they had that catastrophic contagion, 231, like Ignatius of Loyola, 231. It was held on Ignatius of Loyola's birthday, okay? And then, don't forget, WHO declares monkeypox outbreak a global health emergency 231 weeks after COVID declared a pandemic, when monkeypox outbreak was also 231. Now, back to the Georgia Guidestones. They went down on 7/6, right? Ozzy Osbourne dead at the age of 76. And remember, skull and bones equals 76. And the Guidestones are built under the alias R.C. Christian, which equals 76. Barack Obama, 76. Obama's Book of Promised Land, 76. You got the 76s all over Obama's movie. All right. But when did the Georgia Guidestones open? On 3/22, the number of Skull and Bones. And back to this, don't forget, George W. Bush, member of Skull and Bones, turned 76 years old the day the Guidestones went down on 7/6. But when did the Guidestones open? On 3/22. Right? 3/22, the number representing Skull and Bones. Well, let's go down here. Because Arturo Sosa, who is also 76 years old right now, let me show you that real quick. Like Ozzy is 76, or was. Arturo Sosa age. 76, like skull and bones, right? Well, Ozzy died 3 months and 22 days before the leader of the Jesuits' birthday, John Michael Ozzy Osbourne, 322. And when did the Guidestones open? On 322. Went down on 76 because Skull and Bones is 76. So let's hop over here and show you that The Prince of Darkness by Ozzy Osbourne was released on March 22nd, 322. And Crazy Train was recorded on 322. And Mr. Crowley was recorded on 322. John Michael Ozzy Osbourne, 322. And how many days after 322 did Ozzy Osbourne die? Ozzy Osbourne died 123 days after 322. Ozzy Osbourne equals 123. How crazy. He died 123 days after 322. Ozzy Osbourne, 123, born on 12/3/123. He was also on the Osbournes, which had its first episode March 5th. He died 32 weeks and 2 days from the anniversary of the first episode, 322. John Michael Ozzy Osbourne, 322. And then he's dead at 76. Skull and Bones, 76. He died surrounded by love, 76. Heavy metal singer, 76. Ozzy Osbourne death, 76. And then don't forget, since we're making the Jesuit connection here, he also died 76 days after we got the new Pope. And he died 7 weeks and 6 days before the new Pope's birthday. Shout out to Derek, Gematria85 on that. And then also Derek found this. Back to Pope Francis, he died 7 months and 6 days from Pope Francis' birthday. So you got all those 76s. All right, back to the Jesuit slide here. Also, shout out to Derek, Gematria85 for this one. He died 1 month and 23 days before the new Pope's birthday, 123, Ozzy Osbourne, 123. Shout out to Derek for this one. Ozzy died 299 days after the anniversary of the Jesuits. He was born 299 days before the anniversary of the Jesuits. John Michael Ozzy Osbourne, 299. And then Prince of Darkness is 177, like the Jesuit order, 177. All right, we've got through the hard stuff now. Everything else should be pretty smooth. Hopefully I didn't misspeak on anything. I know I'm trying to go fast, so sometimes the wrong numbers come out. Here's another Jesuit connection. He died 134 days before his birthday. Parkinson's, 134. The Jesuits, 134. And then we also have the 67 connection that Derek from Gematria85 pointed out. The Jesuits were founded September 27th. Ozzy died 67 days before the anniversary of the Jesuits. And Ozzy was born 67 days after the anniversary of the Jesuits. Why does the 67 matter? Because blood sacrifice and human sacrifice are 67. All right, I think that does it on the Jesuit connections. Oh, don't forget his other song, Iron Man, equals Jesuit in 2 ciphers. And now I think we're ready to move on to Mr. Crowley. And guys, do me a favor when you come in, please hit that like button. Very much appreciated. And please share this everywhere you can. So shout out to Franshot Blue on this fine. Ozzy had a song called Mr. Crowley. Crowley known for 777 and other Kabbalistic writings. Ozzy died 77 years and 7 months after Aleister Crowley died. 777. How about that? And don't forget, Order Out of Chaos is also 777. That's their motto. And Ozzy died 82 days before Crowley's birthday. Black Sabbath equals 82. Mr. Crowley equals 666. Ozzy died 7 months and 22 days after Aleister Crowley's death date, and he died on 7/22. And then Ozzy is connected to Aleister Crowley through the song Mr. Crowley. In Thelema, the number 93 is closely linked to Crowley through the practice of gematria, a system of assigning numerical values to letters. Aleister Crowley, a prominent figure in occultism, associated Saturn with various concepts within his system of thelema and magical practices. And you see how Saturn equals 93 and how the 93 is connected to thelema, and Prince of Darkness is 93. And then if we go back, remember, including the end date, he died 93 days after the Pope died, like Prince of Darkness, and then he also died 93 days before Ignatius of Loyola's birthday, the founder of the Jesuits. And don't forget, War Pigs was also 93. Where is that at? Somewhere in here. There it is. War Pigs also had the 93. All right. Almost done here. So he's known for doing the song Mr. Crowley, right? That's the connection between him and Aleister Crowley. Look when Aleister Crowley died, December 1st. Ozzy died 132 days before the anniversary of Crowley's death. 132 days, guys. Mr. Crowley equals 132. Wow. And England is 132. And then look when Mr. Crowley was recorded. It started on March 22nd, 322 again, including the end date. Ozzy died 123 days from the anniversary of that song being recorded. Ozzy Osbourne, 123. Ozzy born on 12/3, 123. And then another shout out to Gematria 85 Derek. He pointed out that Ozzy was born 12 months and 3 days after Crowley died. 123. Ozzy Osbourne, 123. How crazy. All right, guys, we're almost done here. We did the 322. We did Crowley. We did the Jesuits. Now for the random fun facts. Unless they're Ozzy, they're not fun facts. So including the end date, Ozzy died 232 days after his birthday. Ozzy, 232, Satan, 232. And shout out to Cody, Decoding with Cody, for pointing this out. The Church of Satan, founded April 30th. Ozzy died 2 months, 3 weeks, and 2 days, 232, from the anniversary of the Church of Satan. And again, Satan, 232, Ozzy, 232, died 232 days after his birthday. Wow. And then I also got this from Cody's chat. He bit the head off a bat allegedly January 20th, 1982. And Ozzy died 2,270 weeks later, 227, like the day he died, 22/7, the 22nd day of the 7th month. And then also Ozzy Osbourne Black Sabbath is 2207, like the day he died. And shout out to Christopher Columbus on Facebook for that one. And then the Osbournes ended on March 21st. He died 242 days before the anniversary of the final episode, Black Sabbath 242. And he also died 123 days after the anniversary of the final episode, Ozzy Osbourne 123. And then Crazy Train equals 135 forwards and backwards, including the end date. He died 135 days before his birthday. Crazy Train 135 both ways. He died exactly 33 weeks after his birthday. Can you believe that? England 33, Rockstar 33, Masonry 33, the highest degree of the Scottish Rite, the 33rd degree. And he died on a day with 74 and 38. Date numerology, like killing, is 74 and 38. And don't forget, Lucifer is also 74 and 38. But yeah, I mean, the key points here, guys, the connection to, the 232 from his birthday, Ozzy, 232, Satan, 232, the 2270 from the bat, the connection to the Osbournes, the Crazy Train connection. You got the 33. You got all the huge Jesuit connections. I mean, the 201 stuff should blow your mind. Ozzy Osbourne, 201. Ignatius of Loyola, 201. The Jesuit Order, 201. He tested positive, which was announced by Sharon, 201 days from Sharon's birthday. And then you find out that Ozzy and Sharon were born exactly 201 weeks apart. Are you kidding me? And then you got him biting the head off a bat on 20/1, COVID connected to the bat, event 201. Hello, the pandemic simulation was event 201, guys. William Henry Gates 201, preparing for disease X, held 201 weeks after COVID declared a pandemic. You know, and then you got all the other, you know, Prince of Darkness equals the Jesuit order, all the crazy connections to Crowley. 77 years, 7 months after Crowley died, who had the 777. Thank you, Cody. That's a good one. I'm sure Cody's going to have a show on this very soon. But yeah, guys, I mean, it's all there. We went through it twice. This one's crazy. Mr. Crowley, 132. He died 132 days before Crowley's death date. Dead 123 days from when Mr. Crowley was recorded. Ozzy Osbourne, 123. Yep, got it right here. Widow's Son, good to see you, Widow's Son. Much love, man. But yep, that's what I'm showing right here. And look at this, guys, if you're just coming in, not only, guys, was Mr. Crowley recorded on 322, and you see how John Michael Ozzy Osbourne is 322, and he died 123 days from 322, and Ozzy Osbourne's 123. Not only was Mr. Crowley recorded on 322, Crazy Train was recorded on 322, and what if I told you he released Prince of Darkness on March 22nd, 2005, 322. And remember, he died 32 weeks and 2 days from the anniversary of the Osbournes. And then dead at 76, Skull and Bones, 76, Surrounded by Love, 76, Heavy Metal Singer, 76, Ozzy Osbourne death, 76. Yep, we just got done with doing the recap. So we went through it twice. And then remember, he also died, another Jesuit connection. You know, Arturo Sosa, the leader of the Jesuits, who's also 76 years old, he died 3 months and 22 days from Arturo Sosa's birthday. But yep, we got it all in there, man. And like I said, hopefully I don't have to make any more videos on it. This stuff, it takes a lot out of you, believe it or not. Especially making these slides, man. It's a lot of time. All right. Let me show the ways you can help out again, and then let me turn this around. If anyone wants to help out, here's how you can do so. Any support, very much appreciated, and thank you to everyone who does support. You guys are awesome. Okay, let me turn this around. All right, got my eyes on the chat. Much love to Steph, Flat Earth Warriors, Widow's Son, I Am Spirit, 5,000 Butterflies, Decoding with Cody, Mike D, much love. Here, let me look something up real quick. Hope you guys are having a great day. All right, Cody, I see what you're saying here. So Cody says in the chat that he died 20,032 days after War Pigs came out for another 232, right? Is that what you're saying, Cody? Like Ozzy and Satan are 232? Yeah, the song, I'm sure you know this, Cody, but the song actually mentions Satan laughing. Here, I guess we can talk about that real quick. Yep, and it's based off of Satanist Walpurgis Night. All right, let me show you what Cody's talking about here. Another 232, right? And the song mentions Satan, so there you go. Yeah, if you're just coming in, KJ Malone had a great find. He pointed out Ozzy and Sharon were born exactly 201 weeks apart. Isn't that crazy? Ozzy Osbourne, 201. Walpurgis Night is 4:30, the same day as the Church of Satan Foundation. So Cody says Walpurgis Night, April 30th. Yeah, that's the Church of Satan founding date. So let me show you what Cody's talking about. So back to the 232. Remember, Ozzy died, including the end date, he died 232 days after his birthday. Ozzy 232, Satan 232, and I gave Cody a shout out earlier because we pointed out the Church of Satan's birthday, April 30th, and he's dead 2 months, 3 weeks, and 2 days from the Church of Satan's birthday anniversary, 232. That's the Church of Satan. And then Satan 232, Ozzy 232, dead 232 days from his birthday. And now Cody's telling us that War Pigs came out September 18th, 1970. So Ozzy died 20,032 days after War Pigs came out. 232, right? Am I on the right track, Cody? 232, like Satan 232. And then Walpurgis Night also has it April 30th, like the Church of Satan. Dead 2 months, 3 weeks, 2 days. 232 from that anniversary. And then if we look at the lyrics of War Pigs, it says, generals gathered in their masses just like witches at black masses, evil minds that plot destruction, sorcerer of death's construction. In the fields the bodies burning as the war machine keeps turning, death and hatred to mankind poisoning their brainwashed minds, oh Lord. Yeah. And then down here, it says, now in darkness, world stops turning, ashes wear their bodies burning. No more war pigs have the power, hand of God has struck the hour. Day of judgment God is calling, on their knees the war pigs crawling, begging mercies for their sins. Satan, laughing, spreads his wings. So look at that. They mention Satan in the song. And what does Satan equal? Uh-oh. All my tabs got weird. That was weird. What's going on here? I don't know how that happened. I lost my whole slide show. It's like my whole screen changed. Why did these get smaller? Oh gosh. Maybe from having that one up? I've never had this happen before. Oh geez. I don't even know what just happened. That was weird, guys. Anyways, yeah, my tabs got like smaller here, and then the X doesn't come up when you click on them. I don't know what the heck is going on. But anyways, guys, let me get through this. Satan equals 232. They mentioned Satan in the song, dead 2 months, 3 weeks, 2 days from the anniversary of the Church of Satan, which is also Walpurgis Night. And in the song, they mention Satan. And the song came out September 18th, 1970. He's dead 20,032 days, 232, from when the song came out. So that's what Cody's pointing out. All right, let me turn this around. Man, kind of concerned what just happened to my computer here. Here, I'm going to close out all my tabs since we're done. You know what? This is my theory. That's the most tabs I've ever had open. Hold on. I've never had that many tabs open in the show. I think that's what it was. Here, let me see what happens if I try to open 25 slides again. I mean tabs. Is that what happened? I opened so many tabs that it got all weird. Yeah. Okay, that's all it is. Man, I was having a little mini meltdown over here. Oh my goodness, I thought like my computer was broken. No, I had so many slides open that it got weird looking. Man, I'm actually starting to sweat. Man, you guys know me and the technical difficulties. I've had so many lately. And I'm kind of like got PTSD from all the things that were going wrong. All right, I think we're good. I think I just had so many tabs open that it looked all weird. Not used to that. But yeah, guys, all kinds of connections to the Jesuits, Skull and Bones, and Crowley, and everything we talked about. Yeah, I think we're good. Yeah, like I said, that's the most tabs I've ever had open at one time. So I couldn't understand why the X wasn't coming up and it looked all weird. But now we know. That'll happen if you open 25 tabs. All right, guys, I think that's pretty much it. Can't wait to see what else Cody finds. Cody, are you holding on to anything important? Let me know. Spill the beans, man. Let me know what you got. Yeah, normally I don't have to open so many tabs because I normally have it all. You know, I post everything on Facebook, and then I just open one tab for Facebook and go through the slides, but this is, you know, kind of all over the place, so that's all it was. All right, guys. Cody says, I'm just now sitting down to research more, but I'm looking more into Walpurgis. All right. And yeah, man, feel free to use anything I found with, you know, anything. And you don't have to give me credit or anything. I know you would, but take whatever you want. And Derek, Gematinator85, he found some great stuff. I gave him a lot of credit today. You too, Cody. You found some great stuff, and people that were commenting, like KJ Malone, found that Sharon and Ozzy were born exactly 201 weeks apart on top of the 201 stuff I made, the connections I made yesterday. When Ozzy tested positive, it was announced by Sharon 201 days from her birthday. I wish I would have known yesterday that they were born 201 weeks apart. That's crazy. And he bit the head off a bat on 21. COVID with a bat, event 201. Ozzy Osbourne 201. We just had Malcolm Jamal Warner dead on the 201st day of the year. 201 original episodes of The Cosby Show. Had Preparing for Disease X 201 weeks after COVID declared a pandemic. William Henry Gates 201, Event 201. I mean, come on. Pope Francis, Jorge Mario Bergoglio 201, lived in Suite 201 at the Domus Sancti Marte 201, Catholic Pope 201. The Guidestones down 201 days from his birthday, and then he dies 201 days from the death anniversary of St. Francis of Assisi. Oh yeah, Maggie. Maggie, thank you for reminding me. Here's another 201. I've never heard of Lion Share Day. Okay? I don't know nothing about it. But allegedly, he died on Lion Share Day. Guess what Lion Share Day equals? 201. And I think there's a shirt with Ozzy and lions. Ozzy Lion shirt. I guess it's about like not no trophy hunting. Here. So yeah, here's a little bonus. I still don't know what Lion Share Day is. We can read it. But yeah, let me just show you. Lion Share Day is when he died, and Lion Share Day does equal 201. So, interesting little bonus piece. Considering he does have a shirt connected to the lion. You got the Wizard of Oz with the Cowardly Lion, right? I don't know why I thought of that randomly, but you never know. It could be connected. Didn't Ozzy have Blizzard of Oz? Yeah, Ozzy had Blizzard of Oz. Wizard of Oz had a lion. I don't know. Yeah, Jesus, the Lion of the tribe of Judah. Amen. And he's coming soon. Get ready. Okay, so look. Lion's Share Day is celebrated on July 22nd. That's when Ozzy died. This day is based on the idiom lion's share, which refers to the largest portion of something. The phrase originates from Aesop's fables, where a lion often takes the biggest piece of any shared spoils. So, anyways, I guess it's a real thing. Lion's Share Day is celebrated on July 22nd. That's when he died. Lion's Share Day equals 201. Like Ozzy Osbourne, 201. And there's Ozzy with the lion shirt. Ozzy says no lions. No trophy hunting. So, interesting. And of course, Blizzard of Oz, like Wizard of Oz had a lion. So, yeah, Lion's Share Day. July 22nd, 2025. That's when he died. Lion's Share Day, 201. Ozzy Osbourne, 201. So, yeah, interesting. Thank you, Maggie. Anybody else have anything? Let me know. I know there's even more that's going to come out because other people are going to keep finding stuff. And, you know, like I said, I can't keep doing all the recaps. It takes so much time and so much mental effort to put this all together and keep going over it. So if anything else does come out, it's probably going to have to be a short video. And then I'll say something like, hey, for the rest of the decode, go watch the part 2 I did. I think part 2, even though we covered more yesterday, this is all the real important key points all in one spot, all condensed. So I think part 2 is the one to watch. So if you guys did awesome sharing yesterday, lots of views, lots of likes. If you guys could do the same thing for this video, share it everywhere you can. I'm sure it won't get as many views because now it's not old news, but you know, people move on. But yeah, if you guys can hit the like and the share, put this on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, whatever you got. And if you guys can leave a comment after the fact, that would really be awesome. Helps out the algorithm. But yeah, let me check in with the chat. Much love to everyone. Cody says he might do a video later. All right. Hey, Lioness Roars, how you doing? Thank you, Michael. All right, guys, I'm gonna leave it there. I think you guys get the point. This was a very obvious ritual. Whether you look at, you know, the connection to Satan and the Church of Satan, or the big Jesuit connection with the 201 and, you know, Prince of Darkness equals the Jesuit order, or the Aleister Crowley connection, or the 32276 connection. I mean, it's all there. And then he dies right after the farewell concert, and it's very obvious one. And then, you know, Ozzy, pretty much, and, you know, very connected to Satan and all the one-eye symbolism and all the satanic imagery and all that. I mean, this one's pretty obvious. Thank you, Maggie. Thank you, everyone in the chat. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. Let me go through this slideshow one more time. Just make sure there ain't nothing else worth mentioning here. Again, I didn't talk about everything that I covered yesterday. Yeah. I covered most of the important stuff. But yeah, I felt like I had to do a part 2, especially with the connections that Gematinator85 found, and then KJ Malone finding that Ozzy and Sharon were born 201 weeks apart. When I was talking about Sharon and Ozzy in the 201 yesterday, had to make a part 2. Yeah, Malcolm Jamal Warner too. Yeah, for sure. Don't forget, he's dead at 54. The Cosby Show equals 54. Dead on the 201st day of the year. There were 201 original episodes. His last name Warner equals drowned and murder. I did a part 2 on him also. And that was right before I did the Ozzy video yesterday. I did a connection between Malcolm Jamal Warner and Barack Obama, because in the show, Theo has a birthday in the show. It's August 4th, which is Obama's birthday. And Obama equals 84, born on 8/4. And that show came out in 84. And we connected it to Matthew Perry, who also drowned at the age of 54 from a sitcom. But yeah, the key point on that, Warner equals murder and drowned. And the 201 connection. 201st day of the year, 201 original episodes of The Cosby Show. And dead at 54. The Cosby Show equals 54. Bill Cosby equals 54 too. But yeah, I would watch, if you haven't seen my video on Malcolm Jamal Warner, don't watch part 1. Watch part 2 with Obama and the cover photo, because I missed some stuff in part 1. Just like Ozzy. It always happens, man. I always end up missing. But here, let me just show you. Here, since we're here. Since you're interested, I'll take a minute to show you. Malcolm Jamal Warner from The Cosby Show, dead at 54. You see how The Cosby Show equals 54 in 2 ciphers? Like Bill Cosby is also 54, and Jesuit Order 54. And he was in The Cosby Show, which had 201 original episodes. He died on the 201st day of the year, 201. And he's from Jersey City, New Jersey, where they got the 201 area code. He died 40 years after the show came out. Drowning 40. Died at Playa Cockles 40. Asphyxia 40. Yeah, Cody says The Cosby Show ended on Walpurgis night. Yep. And Malcolm Jamal Warner 112. Drowning 112. Playa Cockles 112. I think I talked about the 430 connection. He was nominated for an Emmy in '86. He died 8 weeks and 6 days from the anniversary of the show. Accidental drowning, 86, like human sacrifice and blood sacrifice. To 86, someone means to get rid of them. Dead 62 days from the anniversary of the show. Limon, Costa Rica, 62. Sacrifice, 62. Costa Rica equals ritual sacrifice. The show ended April 30th, right? Church of Satan's birthday and Walpurgis night. 33 years after the show ended, right? So yeah, he died, or his death was in the news with 163 days left in the year. Theo 163, drowning accident 163. The 38th prime number is 163. He was nominated at the 38th Emmy Awards. Drown 38, Warner 38, sitcom 38, death, murder, killing 38. And then I pointed out how Matthew Perry also drowned from a sitcom, dead at the same age of 54. He died 38 weeks from Matthew Perry's death anniversary, or you could say he died 3 months and 8 days before his death anniversary. Drowned 38, killing 38, and remember he died. Chandler 38, died after playing pickleball 38. Drowned, killing, death, murder. And then I showed all the videos. You'll have to go back if you want to see the videos of Matthew Perry talking about drowning in Friends. And then remember in the opening scene of Friends, he's spitting the water out of his mouth. Again, you'll have to go watch the video, part 2 with the Obama cover photo, and you'll see the videos. But anyways, there's the April 30th again. His death was announced 83 days from the anniversary of the show ending. And why does that matter? Because Drowned is 83, Warner 83, Family Vacation 83, Sitcom 83, Murder 83. See the Murder by Numbers movie poster, how the B is changed to an 8, the E is changed to a 3, because Murder's 83. The song Murder by Numbers came out in 83. But remember, Murder is also 38. See, the E is changed to a 3, the B is changed to an 8, because Murder is 38 and 83. That's why they did that in the Murder by Numbers movie poster. And on top of all that, back to Matthew Perry, remember he had the 83 Instagram posts when he died, and one of his last posts was in the hot tub, and he drowned after playing pickleball 83. See how pickleball has the 83 and the 38, like Drowned, Sitcom, Murder? And then here's the big part. Look at the overlap with Warner, Drowned, and Murder. Drowned, 83, Warner, 83, Murder, 83, Drowned, 38, Warner, 38, Murder, 38, Drowned, 34, Warner, 34, Murder, 34. And Warner is a perfect match to Murder. Pretty crazy, huh? And don't forget, Matthew Perry died he died October 28th, 2023. He had a fictional birthday in the show, April 8th, 1968. That's the birthday of Chandler Bing. So Matthew Perry just happened to die 666 months after his character's birthday. And this is right before Obama's movie, Leave the World Behind, which had the connection to Friends. And remember, Matthew Perry equals 64, died on the day, leaving 64 days left in the year. The Antichrist, 64. Barack Hussein Obama, 64. There he is with Obama. Remember, he died right before Obama's movie, Leave the World Behind, which had the big connection to Friends. And Bing, Chandler Bing, 192, like Obama, 192. Yes, Matthew Perry did publicly express having a man crush on Obama. And if you want to see all the other 192s, you got to watch the video from yesterday. And then who's the star of Leave the World Behind? Julia Roberts, who dated Matthew Perry, and he died on her birthday, October 28th, right before the movie came out with her in it. Right? And why does the 192 Bing matter? Because Leave the World Behind, 192. Great Tribulation, 192. Obama, 192. The movie ends in the Commodus bunker, who died in 192. Bing, 192. From Friends, right before Obama's movie came out, which had a huge connection to Friends. Remember, they all got to finish, or the little girl in the show wants to finish the last episode of Friends. By the way, the last episode of Friends is Season 10, Episode 18. 1018, like Luke 10:18. I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven. Barack means lightning, bomb of the heights. The director of Leave the World Behind, his birthday and Obama's birthday separated by 10 months, 18 days. Fun fact. But anyways, look at this. Barack Obama and Jennifer Aniston's dating rumors spark amid his divorce speculation from wife Michelle Obama. Jennifer Aniston from Friends, well, guess what? She was born 192 days after Obama's birthday. Pretty crazy, right? Yeah, there he is, spitting the water out of his mouth. And like I said, there's videos of him in the show talking about drowning. You got to watch the live stream from yesterday to see the videos. But yeah, anyways, Theo Huxtable has a birthday in the show, August 4th. That's Obama's birthday. And then I showed, remember Obama's chef was the paddleboarder who drowned. That was in the news 6 years, 6 months, and 6 days after Obama's last full day in office. And this happened in Obama's estate at Turkeyland Cove, which equals 666. And so he drowned 351 days from his fictional birthday. Drowned 351. Or you could say he drowned 50 weeks from his fictional birthday, drowning 50, on vacation 50. And it was in the news on 163 days left in the year. Barack Hussein Obama, 163, like drowning accident and Theo. And it goes on. It's pretty deep. And then we get in all the 128s and Cliff Huxtable 222, and it was a long one. It's about a 2-hour live stream I did. Costa Rica equals the Antichrist. Anyways, here, let me remind you of a couple other things with Obama. Not only did the guy die at Obama's estate on Turkeyland Cove, which is 666, and it was in the news 6 years, 6 months, 6 days after Obama's last full day in office. We made some new notes yesterday with some 666 connections that I had forgot about. Yeah. Let me just go through this list real quick. Luke 10:18, right? I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven. Barack means lightning. Obama the Heights. Obama's slogan, yes we can. Listen to it backwards, you'll hear thank you Satan. Obama equals dragon. Okay? Obama started his political career in Chicago. Chicago has the 60606 zip code. They also have the 60666 zip code. Strong's 4566 is Satan. When Obama announced he was running for president, he was 45 years, 6 months, 6 days old. And Strong's 4566 is Satan. They say he's from Hawaii. Hawaii equals 666. Obama born on the 216th day of the year. 6 times 6 times 6, 216. And Obama born on the day leaving 149 days left in the year. Antichrist equals 149. And then I showed yesterday how for Obama's 60th birthday on Obama.org, they asked people to chip in either $6, $60, or $600, which equals 666. And then I showed, remember Obama is 192, like Leave the World Behind 192. I showed yesterday how the Little Nas X video, J. Christ, came out with 19.2 million subs, and Obama's represented in that video. And that's where he's wearing the Luke 10:18 Satan shoes. Like, I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven. Barack means lightning. Bomb of the Heights. Anyways, those shoes sold for $1,018 a pair. I probably won't be able to find it. I was supposed to fix it to make it easier to find. But anyways, 666 pairs. And don't forget, Satan shoes equals Antichrist. Also, if you add up the 4 base ciphers of Barack Hussein Obama, okay, let's see if it works today. 192 Obama notes. If you add up the 4 base ciphers of Barack Hussein Obama, it equals 666. And then remember when Obama was with Eminem in Michigan, 103 days after he released the song Antichrist. Eminem is 103, Obama 103. They were together 103 days after the song Antichrist. Nope, it didn't come up again. So that's okay. We'll do it this way. I do need to work on that. I said I would yesterday. It kind of frustrated me. But here. Remember Obama represented in the video? That's not the real Obama, but it looks just like Obama. See the 19.2 million subs? when this came out. 19.2, that 192. Obama, 192. Great Tribulation, 192. Leave the World Behind, 192. Ends in the Commodus bunker. He's in the video. He's wearing the Luke 1018 Satan shoes. 666 pairs sold for $1,018 a pair. Luke 10:18, and he said unto them, I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven. You think it's a coincidence that Obama is literally represented in the video, and the video came out with 19.2 million subs when Obama is 192, like Leave the World Behind? I mean, that is unbelievable. Why do you think he's wearing the number 55 jersey when he's playing basketball against Satan? Maybe because Satan is 55, Fallen Angel 55, and Lightning 55? Little Nas X 44, Lightning 44, Fallen Angel 44, Obama number 44. His real name Montero equals Lightning. Montero 35, Satan 35, Baphomet 35. He's got the Baphomet right on the shoes. Luke 10:18. Montero Hill 156, like Tribulation, and 666. Don't forget the Antichrist Barack Obama is also 156 and 222. The Antichrist Barack Obama. I gotta wrap this up. I'm going too long now. I don't want Lion Share Day in there. The Antichrist Barack Obama, 156. Like Montero Hill, Tribulation. Montero Hill also 846, like Tribulation, the Days of Noah, the Fallen Angels. But yep. And let me go ahead and show you this. These were the Satan shoes, right? Satan shoes equals Antichrist. If they weren't already Antichrist enough, right? Including the 149. Remember, Obama was born on the day, leaving 149 days left in the year. On the 216th day of the year, 6 times 6 times 6, 216. Let's see how Satan shoes equals Antichrist. But anyways, also don't forget, when Israel was allegedly attacked by Hamas, 64 days from Obama's birthday, and Israel equals 64. Barack Hussein Obama 64, the Antichrist 64, then Israel declared war 666 days before Obama's 64th birthday. And then we just talked about Matthew Perry equaled 64, dead on the day, leaving 64 days left in the year. Right? And then don't forget, when Michelle Obama's mom, her death was in the news, if you go back 666 days before that, you land on Obama's birthday. But yeah, just a few things we were talking about yesterday. Let me see if there's anything else to mention here with Theo, and then we'll wrap this up. I didn't plan on going live this long, but sometimes it happens. Here, since we're on the 222s, look at this. Obama tested positive for COVID 222 days from his birthday. They called it Wuhan coronavirus 222. Like Event 201, World Economic Forum, the Beast of Revelation, Antichrist System, the Antichrist Barack Obama, Beast, mandatory vaccination, COVID vaccines, vaccine cards, as above, so below, and order out of chaos. They're all 222. And then it was declared a national emergency 222 days from his birthday, declared a pandemic 222 months from 9/11. And then don't forget, the first U.S. case was 222 days from Trump's birthday. And Trump equals 222, won the election 222 days from his birthday. And then Don't forget Ivana Trump died 222 days from her birthday. And Trump's sister died 222 days from her birthday. But yeah, Matthew Perry, 64, dead on the day, leaving 64 days left in the year. Like Barack Hussein Obama, the Antichrist, dead right before Obama's movie Connected to Friends. Bing, 192. You know, like Leave the World Behind, 192. Dead 666 months after his character's birthday. And for one more, since I had it on here, one of my favorite decodes ever, the 128. If you're new to this whole gematria thing, this right here should convince anyone that they use numbers. So remember the bridge collapse that happened at 128? The Francis Scott Key Bridge collapsed at 128. See up here how it says at 128? Well, it collapsed 128 days before Francis Scott Key's birthday. And bridge collapse equals 128, and Maryland equals 128 where it happened. Now, remember the ship that hit that bridge lost power, like Obama's movie, Leave the World Behind, where the power goes out, and then the cargo ship White Lion comes ashore. White Lion 128, like Power Grid 128. And when did Obama's movie come out on Netflix? December 8th, 12/8/128. Hello. And then the bridge also collapsed 128 days after Biden's birthday while he was president, who of course served with Obama. And then back to White Lion, which equals 128. In Obama's movie, White Lion loses power with 128 minutes left in the movie. And then 128 minutes into the movie, they show a bridge collapse. And for the record, President Barack Obama 128, the Antichrist Barack Hussein Obama 128. I mean, what are the odds? It collapsed at 128, 128 days from Francis Scott Key's birthday. It was the Francis Scott Key Bridge when bridge collapsed 128. Right after Obama's movie with the White Lion 128. I mean, you can't make it up. It loses power with 128 minutes left in the movie, and 128 minutes into the movie, they show a bridge collapse. I mean, for me, that's like top 3 decodes of all time. And all credit to God. And plus everybody else who helped with that decode. But anyways, I think that's enough for today. Let me turn this around. Good one, Bones. Yeah, make sure you check out Bones Jones, too. He makes some great community posts. All right, guys. Thank you, Maggie, Bones, Travis, Mike, Elena. Cody was in here earlier. Michael, Brian, everybody, Birdie, Steph, 5,000 Butterflies, Scott. Cody just made a post. He said, thank you all for 11K. Congrats to Cody. Just hit 11,000 subs. Very nice. I was there at one time too. If you guys don't know, I'm on channel number 14. One time I got to 15,000 subs, deleted my channel. Then I had to build back up, and I got back up to 18,000 subs, and they deleted me again. So I'm in the rebuilding process. Hopefully we'll get there again. Hopefully 11,000 for us is right around the corner. It'll probably take a while, though. They only let me get about 300 to 500 subs a month. So we're rebuilding, but it's okay. It's not about the subs at the end of the day. It's just making sure this gets to the right people. Even if I just wake up one person a day, that's all that matters. But I really wish, or not wish, I pray, that they would stop deleting my channels. That would be cool, you know. If they just imagine if they never deleted any of my channels, we could be at 100,000. Or if the algorithm did us any favors. But congratulations to Cody on 11,000 subs. That's awesome, brother. Keep up the great work, man. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. Someone's talking about 666 subs. Who's got that? Spencer says 666 subs. Coincidence? I think not. Who has 666 subs? Not me. I do? No. You mean I got 6,000? I got 6.66? Really? That means I grew quite a bit in the last day. Let me go look. If that's true, y'all gotta share this video out so I can get off that number. Oh my goodness, I do. As I'm talking about Ozzy. Oh man. Yikes. Or y'all want me to show you? Man, that's crazy. Look. That means I gained like a couple hundred subs like quickly. But yeah, that's me. Yikes. 6.66K subs as I'm talking about Obama and Ozzy. But look what it says there. Jesus is coming soon. Amen. So yeah, remember, I don't control how many subs I have. This isn't my fault. Don't blame me. Yikes. But hey, what an organic synchronicity as I'm talking about Cody subs and Obama and Ozzy and all the 666 connections. That's really weird. Ah, man, that's weird. What's going on, YouTube? I was wondering what you were talking about. You said 666 subs. I'm like, who are you talking about? It's me. Wow. Yeah, y'all need to get me off that number. So hopefully by the end of the day, it'll be at 6.67. Y'all share this out. I think I need like 10 subs to get off that number. So share everywhere. Get me out of here. Get me off that number. It's all good, guys. There is an organic side of this whole thing. Remember, I started seeing the number 222 everywhere in 2019 before I ever heard of gematria, before anyone knew about COVID, and the whole world changed connected to that number 222. Here, since we're all here, remember, there's a good and a bad side to all this. But yeah, there is definitely an organic side. Don't forget, Daniel 2:22, he revealeth the deep and secret things. Acts 2:22, the only verse with the 3 words miracle signs and wonders. The very first verse of the Bible equals 2:22. Genesis 1:1, in the beginning God created the heaven and the earth. That equals 2:22. Strong's 2:22 is flame of God. The Book of Life 2:22. Jesus is the truth 2:22. You must be born again 2:22. Key to the universe 2:22. Key to the apocalypse 2:22. Jesus the Lion of Judah 2:22. And then there's a few other interesting ones somewhere in here. Yeah, don't forget Hidden Codes 2:22 and Armageddon is also 2:22. So yeah, we live in a big old biblical matrix. Just remember, God's in control. Satan and his minions, they might try to imitate God and copycat and hijack the number system, but God is in control of this biblical matrix, and Jesus is coming soon. I can't wait. All right, guys. Oh, you guys are talking about 11:11 now? And my computer's about to die. Oh, I'm at 17%. I can go on for another minute. Now that you guys are bringing up the 11:11. Yeah, that's another number I see. You know what's crazy? When I woke up, my stove in the kitchen, it has the wrong time on it. But when I woke up, and I went to the kitchen, it said 222 on it. So I saw it first thing when I woke up. Here, give me a second. I'll show you some 1111s. And then we'll wrap it up, since you guys are talking about 1111. Show you some cool stuff here. I think you're in the chat, you're thinking of Russia-Ukraine war. I think. Here. See how the Russian invasion of Ukraine was on February 24th, 224? I think Russia-Ukraine war is 224. I think that's what you're thinking about in the comments. But yeah, see how Russia-Ukraine war equals 224? Like February 24th, 224. It was February 24th when Russia invaded Ukraine, right? February 24th, 224, Russia-Ukraine war, 224. Am I saying that right? It's been a long day already. February 24th, right? That's 224. Russia-Ukraine war, 224. Okay, moving on. 1111. Luke 21:28. And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh. That whole verse equals 1111. And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh. That equals 1111. John 3:3. Jesus answered and said unto him, Verily, verily, I say unto thee, except a man be born again, he cannot see the kingdom of God. That equals 1111. And Jesus' blood equals 1111. So Jesus' blood, 1111. The verse about being born again equals 1111. And the verse about look up, for your redemption draweth nigh equals 1111. Pretty cool. All right, guys, I got to get out of here. We're going too long. But yeah, I mean, we could go on for hours. I've been doing some long live streams lately. Thank you, Lioness Roars. Hey, real quick. Remember Brian Koberger lived in apartment 201? Lioness Roars was telling me that Brian Koberger was sentenced today. But since we've been talking about 201, remember he was arrested in the Pocono Mountains, which equaled 201, and Brian Koberger lived in apartment 201. I went through all the 201s the other day on the 201st day of the year. Like the fake moon landing on the 201st day of the year, Neil Alden Armstrong 201. Let me see if I can find this real quick for you guys. Here it is. Thank you, Jesus. Here, I'll pull out the phone stand one more time. That's it. We got to go. My computer is going to die. I'm at 15%. But yeah, remember Brian Koberger lived in apartment 201? Look at that. See that? Brian Koberger residing in apartment 201. And then remember he was arrested. Brian Koberger was arrested in the Pocono Mountains, 201. So, little fun fact for you. Another ritual all by the numbers. Here, hold on. One sec. I did a decode. What was June 30th? He accepted the plea deal. Yeah, real quick. I just did a decode on Brian Koberger. On top of the 201 connection. Real quick, guys. We got this news June 30th. Brian Koberger accepts the plea deal in Idaho student murders case, right? We got that news on June 30th. Are you talking about, someone's talking about an Air Force jet in Bangladesh. Is that the one in the school, the Dhaka school? Because I covered that the other day too, in one of the live streams. Yeah. Yep, I already covered this. So make sure you check that out. Okay, Brian Koberger accepts plea deal in Idaho student murders case, June 30th. We got that news. His birthday, November 21st. So he accepted the plea deal 222 days from his birthday. Idaho, 222. 4 Idaho college students, 222. Order out of chaos, 222. What are the odds? He accepted the plea deal 222 days after his birthday. 4 Idaho college students, 222. Idaho, 222. And the murder allegedly happened on November 13th. So he took the plea deal 229 days from the anniversary of the murder. Brian Koberger, 229. And he took the plea deal 144 days before his birthday. Brian Christopher Koberger, 144. University of Idaho students, 144. Jesuit order, 144. And then he lived in apartment 201. The Jesuit order, 201. And he was arrested in the Pocono Mountains, 201. And see the house where it happened, 1122, Society of Jesus, 1122. That's the Jesuits. 11 plus 22 is 33. Idaho murders, 72. Idaho 72. Jesuit order 72. And this is in the news on the 181st day of the year. College students 181. And it was in the news 137 days from the anniversary of the murder that happened on King Road, 137. So, anyways, we covered that. But yep, he lived in apartment 201, arrested in Pocono Mountains, 201. Yeah, I'm moving on from Brian Kohberger. I'm sure there's all kinds of numbers connected to the news today, but I've covered Brian Kohberger for years now. I'm moving on. It's obviously all made for TV. Now, I'm not saying, it's not possible that people actually died, that whole thing. All I can tell you, it was a ritual, either way you look at it. All by the numbers. Been talking about it for years. So I'm not going to do a new decode on Brian Kohberger. But thank you, Lioness Roars, for letting me know. Just wanted to show you guys all the scripted news connected to Kohberger. Why can I not scroll up in the chat? What the heck? That don't make no sense. What the heck? Ah, man. It's only letting me go so far up. I don't understand that. What the heck, man? Always something with the technical difficulties, dude. I can only scroll up to like 2 minutes ago. Ah, man, that's frustrating. Normally, someone said the same. What is that about? You guys are having the same problem? Oh my gosh, that's never happened before. What does that mean? What happened to the chat? It just erased all my live chat? The chat's gone? I can see the new comments coming in, but where's the old chat? I used to be able to scroll the whole thing. It only goes back to 149. It's 152. Is that because we hit 2 hours? Does it cut the chat off after 2 hours? You had to open and close for the live chat? Man, always something to stress me out at the end of the live, man. I don't know what that means. I don't know what to do about it. I've never had that problem happen, ever. Not in 5 years of doing this have I not been able to scroll all the way up to the chat. Yep. Not a robot is the first comment I can see. Well, that's frustrating. Very frustrating. Well, sucks we got to end on that note. It happens in other chats. Yeah, but it's never happened to me. I've seen it cut it off, but like you guys literally can't read the comments. Does YouTube Restart chat in live after 2 hours. No. Yeah, it just seemed like 2 hours. Oh my goodness. I do not understand that. Wow. Well, that's frustrating. Oh well. Man. Alright guys, I'm going to leave it there. Got some good info in this video. Thank you for being here today, guys. Thank you for being part of the channel. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Do me a favor on the way out. Please hit the like and the share. Very much appreciated. Please share this everywhere you can. And I don't know if I should come back and do like a test stream. I don't know. I mean, I guess it ain't going to do me any good. You can tell when I get frustrated, I start sweating. Ah, man. I mean, the chat's working, but like, I don't know why they did that. All right, guys, have a great rest of your day. Please share this everywhere you can. Please leave a comment after the fact. Very much appreciated. All right, guys, as always, keep looking up. We are living in the biblical end of days. Jesus is coming very soon. Yeah, me too, Mike. Jesus is coming very soon. I can't wait. And I'll see you guys on the next video. God bless.